Hello everyone, this is Cookies. I do have a fan in the background again, so hopefully it's getting filtered out, but I've got turn 40 for you, and I wanted to go ahead and get this recorded. So let's go ahead and jump in. We get a message from Calum. TC is now creating one fully kitted golem a turn and will run away with the game if he's not coalitioned into check. So I've traded the Air Throne to Marignon to get him to maintain his snap with me and to come in against Tianchi. I'm still running at 0 construction so that I can rush Alt 8 next turn, and maybe Army of Bronze thereafter without wasting turns on construction. I've been able to get most of the gear/boosters I need in trade, and from gear dropped by TC's thugs/mages. So not researching construction hasn't hurt me yet. I think the game for me comes down to whether or not I can take the Throne of the Artificers from Tianchi, which will stunt his crafting and move the 9 gem income there from him to me. I'm going all in on winning that throne. We'll see. All right. And let's say we do have a fair number of battles here. And it looks like we've got action immediately between Marignon and Calum. Also between Marignon a little bit and some Atlantis and some Agartha. So this game does seem very fluid. All right, let's check out this first one against Atlantis. We got some crossbows, we got some swordsmen. Going up against some PD. All right, that is successful. He loses 1 crossbow. Then we've got Calum going in on Tianchi. Got a twice-born Harab Elder with the Feeble Mind Affliction. So sending that one in to go suicide. And if there was 1 PD, it might actually win. Oh, I don't know that you want that guy to live. Alright. But he does. In Zoglia, we've got man attacking. Got a Magister with an air gem and a Vampire Lord. With seduction. Is this a hero? Popular, interesting. I guess it's a hero for man. I don't think I've ever seen this hero. Sorry, I'm just kind of reading his lore. Interesting. All right. So we got Mistform Body Ethereal Retreat, but the vampire was, they were on the wrong ends of the map. So I think this guy just buffed himself and ran away. Okay, I mean, this battle has done all sorts of confusion to me. Obviously, that's just a small scripting mistake, though. All right, and then we've got Atlantis and Man. So we've got 3 Ice Guard under a Indie Priest. The most budget of budget raids, and they're about to find this vampire. Now, so I guess he's on attack rear, so he killed the priest. If he happens to jump in front of the Ice Guard, he might regret it still. Yeah. Okay. So he does, and he gets yoinked immediately. What is going on in Zoglia? Alright, and then Atlantis attacks Agartha. We've got some Unsleeping going against a little bit of PD and a little buff squad. I suppose I can add the colored squares and the round number. They rout the commander. So this is an Agarthan victory. So Agartha frees his, or I guess maintains his control over his capital by patrolling this little party. Kills 8 Unsleepings, loses 2 blind fighters and 2 entrance guard. In Falgoth, we've got Calum attacking. Fair number of Earthbound. So we've got some Stormguard on bodyguard duty. And this is against the Kaghan. This might be enough to kill this hero. We'll see. Is he getting stunned? He is getting stunned. So he's down to 5 HP, diseased and crippled. Does not like lightning. That's the end of the Kaghan. So Calum Patrol, I guess, catches the Kaghan with some Sacreds and deals with them, along with some, an Air Mage. So loses 4 Earthbound. That's like 100 gold. A couple of Stormguard, that's 30 gold. Kills a Scout, that's also 30-ish gold, 35 gold. And then also kills the Kaghan, who is a hero, irreplaceable. Alright, and we've got the, let's see, that was here. Okay, let's not skip anything. We've got Bone Lens. 3 little thugs, GSS, GSS, and GSS. One's got an air gem for mist form, but they should be in the same square. Yeah, all 3 of these I think were supposed to be in the same square. And then all 3 of these buffs would make sense because they're all AoE 1, so all 3 would get all 3 buffs. So this seems like another scripting mistake. As it stands, he should be fine, but he will probably want to correct that. In Felden Forest, we've got Swarm. Okay, we've got some more. Oh, yeah. So this is a gem bait squad. We have a 4-path mage with some gems. We have a little bit of bait. So he's trying to bait out most of the script. The attack rear squads are supposed to catch attack rear flyers so that this guy lives a little bit longer, so that Calum spends more of his gems. Although there's a lot of gems to be spent. Not a lot of air, though. So we do see relief go up. We do get Howl. Alright, the gem expenditures finally stopped. We also saw Oaken Army come out. Okay. And that was Felden Forest? Yeah. Alright, so gem bait. And then we've got Junal Forest. So many forests here. We've got 4 squares of Ice Guard. Alright, they do just fine. Where is that? That was here. Then in Damned Snake Step, we've got Agartha going after Atlantis. This is that Agarthan army. Still just doing casual raiding with this force. Okay. I do think this is an army that could potentially get SC'd. And Atlantis is a nation with SCs. So I am curious if that ends up happening. You basically have to build a thug that can kill blind fighters reasonably quickly. So maybe some sort of AoE elemental damage. Or honestly, maybe even like a snake bladder stick. And then you need something that can not die to crossbow spam, which is totally doable on an SC. Alright, that was here. Then in Osense, we've got a general with some barb heavy horse, but we've also got a pretty strong white mage here with storm armor. He's got invulnerability, he's got soul vortex. And this is pretty nasty. He's using the Draconians for a fatigue battery. That's why he's got him on bodyguard. Okay. Give me 1 second. Okay. So, let's see. Sorry, I had to sneeze. Alright, that was here. So Calum won that. Then in Iron Peaks, we got Marignon attacking Agartha. Little group of swordsmen. This game is very scrappy. There's a little bit of diplomacy happening, but not a lot, that's for sure. Okay. Then in Etris, I mean, at least to me, it seems like everyone's attacking everyone pretty frequently. Alright, we've got a Ancestor Smith Thug with a Frostbrand and a couple of Death Gems for probably invulnerability and Soul Vortex. It looks like he's taking as much damage as he's gaining life, but it looks like he came out of it. 31 hit points. I mean, this this guy took a fucking beating. It was like Deadpool in there. Alright. And that was... Okay, so that was Etris. Okay. Then in Hipperboch, we've got a Cave Knight with a Wizard of High Magics, a slow to recruit mage, doing a basic bitch fire elemental. Not particularly strong versus Atlantis. They have a lot of magic weapons, but if everything's running away off the start, should be fine. Alright. So that was here. So the Cave Knight dies from the poison. Then in Moon C, I'm presuming, we've got another Ancestor Smith Thug with 2 nature gems this time. Hopefully Gift of the Hair is in this script. I like seeing units with like more than 3 combat speed down here. Personal regen, that's 1. Does get Blessing off. As a reminder, the Blessing is hard skin and unaging, so it's definitely worth doing. Kills that. I mean, we went from all these massive raids to like the most budget of budget shit getting thrown around right now. Um, so that was here in Kenan. We've got Marignon attacking Calum. This is just a bunch of troops under the Guardian of the Chalice. Inspirational +2 and +1. Oh, all right. So pretty good general going up against just some PD. That's just a Harib Seraph here. Okay. Another army that could be SC'd. Yeah, I mean, 24 damage greatswords are tricky. There are a few crossbows here, but it's the same sort of problem as with that. I think it was in a no, it was in a Garthan stack. So we'll see if anything happens. 218 troops with no mage support, basically. Then in Silver World, got a budget squad of Stormguard with an Iron Crafter doing maybe an Earth Elemental. Looks like they took down some of the leadership, so everything's fleeing now. Did he spend those Earth Gems? He did. What did he do with them? Marble Warriors. Oh, that's pretty good. Alright, I like that better than the Earth Elemental. So, yeah, bumps their protection, taking their protection up to 25 here. Was here, loses 2 Stormguard, takes out some Shade Beasts, some Zots, a couple of Camazots. In Forbidden Forest, we've got a couple of mounted scouts. Oh, with Mirrors of Trapped Images. Alright, so they're going to try to illusion through the PD. Can be risky against Calum, because Calum does get flyers. Archers do score a hit on one of the scouts. Okay, and it works. They're pretty budget idea. In Solkar, so we've got a Strength of Gaia out of the White Tiger. What is this tiger going after? Just some PD? I mean, we haven't seen him in a while. Astral Shield, Body Ethereal, Temper Flesh. Gonna go ahead and hop in. This one militia ran faster than everyone else. Nope, he doesn't make it. Well, I guess that guy ran even faster. Okay. What was that? That was there. And then we've got one less battle in the halls. We've got an indie attack. What is this? Militia, thrall, or peasants, I guess. And some archers. Pretty trash, but it might be enough to kill this. Or they'll just drought. Stiff breeze. Okay. So the PD holds. Alright, so in terms of the underground, we see the Marignon army. Some of it has stayed, but a lot of it is moved on. We got about 200 troops that are planning to come out in Boarwoods. We've also got a troop of cavemen that have been recruited. Let's see, that's the Dominion score graphs. Cavemen took over this. Got Calum raiding here. But otherwise, it's been fairly quiet underground. Can be a pain in the ass to get stuff out of a cave, so players don't tend to do a lot of recruitment in them if they can avoid it. Alright, so we've heard Marignon's going to go after Calum, and here we go. No, Marignon's going after Tianqi, but he's taking the Throne of Air as compensation, which is pretty solid compensation for Marignon. I don't think Marignon gets a lot of air magic. Alright, I guess we can look at this. Oh, it does say air. Okay, air 1 does not really count. It's still air 1. Okay, so Royal Navigator can get air 2. Okay. It's not a lot of air. I guess it's air 2 on a random, but it'll be nice for him because Windmasters are great. Not only do they have storm immunity and flying, so they have map move 20, but they're also consistently air 2 and they're pretty cheap. So you know exactly what you're getting. It's a pretty solid mage. The Bless is also nice. I believe it's like an air shield 40 effect. So being able to add that to your sacreds, although I don't think we've seen a lot of Marignon sacreds. Hands of Justice, I think it's been mostly Royal Guard. Maybe that would be enough to let him recruit some flagellants. I'm not sure. Alright, so we see Marignon taking this throne as compensation, and then I guess he's gonna move towards the Tianqi border. I'm not sure how they would want to split that. I guess Marignon would want to take Gold Mountains. It's kind of a diagonal war for him on both cases. It's down here and down here. So we'll have to see what he ends up doing. I have received some more graphs, and the graphs look like somebody's been doing a Akashic record because there's some age to a few of the graphs. And they're not, I think they're mostly mundane graphs. So, but I did get those from a player, so we'll take a look at that. That'll be a nice turn 40 check-in. But yeah, so Calum's doing an all-in here on Felden Forest. Had one of his retreat routes cut. Actually, two of them. So I'd like to see some of this stuff. Maybe try to roll in here and secure a retreat route. Or he needs at least a couple of these, and he should have enough troops to try and secure a couple of them in case something goes south on this throne, or it really will be an all-in because everyone will die if it fails. All right, and Marignon's gonna do a little bit of a diagonal war. I haven't seen any indications he might have to count down a nap. I haven't seen anything really moving towards the border to try and help. I think this area makes the most sense for Marignon to fight in. And then maybe he could try to go for Gold Mountains and Scrap Point and then get into this cave. I'm not sure if you'd want to push too much further. Kind of depends. He does have a tremendous amount of stuff in Satis. He's killed off another 1,500 pop. But yeah. And then, yeah, I I don't know. I guess not a heck of a lot outside of diplomatic stuff has really happened. We had some budget raids going kind of back and forth. TNG made some gains here. Caleb made a small gain here, but otherwise not a ton of movement. TNG's kind of pushing around here. So I guess the real story is TNG undid some more of the Caleb rating game gains for Caleb. Let's go ahead and talk about Man a little bit. So Man's on Silent Wetlands. He's got some more stuff securing this retreat route. Can, I guess, continue moving more stuff in. He's also got some garrisons here in his remaining forts. And then over here, we've got Atlantis sieging Frosted Peaks. The Sigarthan army has moved into Snake Step. And he's done a little bit of raiding here. I think what he might be doing is trying to secure retreat routes for bumping into this army. But I'm not sure how long he's going to push it, if he's going to push it until maybe this fort is cracked. And then he'll attack onto the fort. And then otherwise, it's his army continuing to gather strength in bountiful land, sending off small expendable raiding parties. We have a more significant Atlantean raiding party guarding Flemistan at the moment. And then he's also been gathering an army in Usrud. So, yeah, otherwise it's mostly been kind of like minor raiding. And yeah, I think that's all the players. A pretty quiet turn, to be honest. But let's go ahead and see if I can pull up the graphs. I will turn off my fan for this part. Okay, so I think I've got the graphs pulled up here. Hopefully this works. All right, so this is the army size graph. And we're on turn 40. I believe these got sent to me on turn 39, so last turn, but I had already recorded. But we can see for army size that Marignon is out in front. Now, Calum took a lot of attrition over the last couple of turns, so I imagine Calum might be a little bit closer to down here, but he might have also done some hiring. TNG has actually managed to hold mostly steady despite their attrition. And you can see the big drop from Atlantis, where they're getting close to being recovered and maybe getting ready to do another push. Also, we've got Dominion. So you can see Atlantis is tops in Dominion. You can see Agarthan Dominion and Man Dominion are both, they're okay, but they're not what I would call healthy. So, I mean, they're, I think, even a little bit weaker than what their Dominion is, a little bit weaker or about the same as what it was coming out of expansion, which is not a great place to be. For forts, we've got TNG in first, and then shockingly, Marignon, Atlantis, and Cetes were all tied, which was crazy to me, at least on this graph. And then, and it looks like he hasn't pulled Agarthas graphs. Or maybe they got filtered, I don't know. And then we've got, for income, we've got Marignon in first, followed by Atlantis, TNG, and Calum. I think TNG is maybe pulled a little bit further, but maybe Calum's a little bit down. But it's kind of remarkable how tight of a band all these nations have kept in. And then for provinces, we've got TNG out in front, maybe around the same. No, it should be up a little. I think they were up a little in the rating game. And then Calum, I think, might be down a bit, so maybe down here. And then we've got Marignon and Atlantis. So really wanted to say thank you to the player. I'll get off the blinding white screen now. Hopefully that helps. All right. So yeah, big shout out and thanks to the Marignon player, if I remember right, for being willing to reach out and provide these graphs. Since my omniscience is a little bit bugged, it's a great help for those of you looking for a little bit more context and wanting to kind of relate what you're seeing on the strategic map to what you would see in the graphs. So that's pretty nice. Doesn't have everyone in it, but it's got a lot of the remaining players, which is pretty good. Especially if they were spending 30 or 40 pearls putting those graphs together. So very much appreciate it. Gloomgate. Good grief. Okay. But yeah. So we'll have to see. I don't know if there was a nap between Tianqi and Marignon. We haven't seen any Marinese troops start moving towards the border. So we'll have to see if it's a serious offer or if Calum just gave away his throne for free. I do think this puts Marignon even further into the first position. As him and Tianqi, I think, are starting to get close to having exhausted each other. They're having to train up a new round of troops. The raids are getting very budget. Tianqi's mostly got some fort garrisons now, and some little groups of troops running around. Calum's got this army on Felden Forest, probably one of the last field armies actively running around. Everything else for Calum is guarding the Conjuration discount site where he's got 8 Draconian Chiefs going ham. There is now a palisade here, so they are protected by a fort, even though it doesn't look like they are. And then, yeah, and then we have to, I don't know, I keep waiting for Agartha to do something. Or if they're just waiting for Atlantis to come up with the magic that they need to be able to kill Agartha. I was hoping they would try to make some more hay. Especially maybe take their main force once they freed this area, maybe push up, try to take Range of Faith or something. I mean, it doesn't have a ton of wall integrity. It's certainly possible. And then, you know, have this army with some necromancers, maybe go take on this army or the man army. But we'll just have to wait and see. Hopefully we get a couple of big battles next term. There is some potential for Agartha Atlantis. There's some potential for Tianqi Calum. And I think that's most of it. So we'll have to see what we get next turn. And we'll see you guys in the next one. Have a good one. Bye.